Today, we're going to discuss about this performance parameters of the single phase controlled converters or single phase control rectifiers. Performance parameters. So, what are the performance parameters we're getting? In the previous session, if you observe, in previous session we discussed about that single phase half control rectifier. About single phase half control rectifier. Here, for a single phase half control rectifier, one thyristor we have been used. One thyristor we have been used. Here, for one thyristor, if you observe, for a single thyristor, whenever only for positive half cycle is getting, then only the thyristor will turn on. Okay, otherwise it should be a reverse bias condition. Nothing but it should be a turn off position. Whenever thyristor is having with a forward bias with respect to anode is made positive with respect to cathode, then only it should be forward biased and therefore the thyristor getting turned on. Here now, whenever negative half cycle is getting, suppose for a sinusoidal AC supply, we are applying sinusoidal AC supply means always the cyclic performance is to be changing. Positive half cycle is getting and also negative half cycle is getting. Here for positive only it is conducting, that is turn on. For negative it should be non-conducting. That is a turn off position. Therefore, that thyristor will be turn on for positive half cycle only. Whenever a thyristor, first one thyristor is being added. Then how we observed that for a half wave rectifier, half wave control rectifier, that average output voltage V naught is equal to Vm by 2 pi of 1 plus cos alpha. That is the derived expression from the half wave control rectifier. Here, if you observe, for single phase half control rectifier, the average output voltage is to be V naught or V output is equal to Vm by 2 pi of 1 plus cos alpha. Here, what about the RMS value? If you observe that about the RMS value, here the RMS value is to be, RMS value is to be, should be 1 by root 2 pi of pi minus alpha plus 1 by 2 sine 2 alpha. This is the derived expression from previous session uh, for this single phase half control rectifier. And how the performance parameters are. What are the performance parameters we observe? That is, yes, we are getting whenever we added a load, we used a load of resistive load. We previously placed that resistive load. And R load, with respect to R load, how the circuit behavior and how the circuit parameters are. Here, output DC power, if you observe, this is nothing but the output DC power of average or DC output power delivered to the load. This rectifier is nothing but a AC to DC converter. AC to DC converter. Whenever we are applying the AC input, the output is to be getting as a DC value. Okay, that's why output DC power, it is AC input power we are giving, and the output is to be DC output power. That's why we are calling as a output DC power of average value. Average means it should be having the number of positive half cycles, number of positive anything. But if you consider the frequency is to be 50 cycles per second, 50 cycles per second. Per second, we are getting 50 cycles. Means one full cycle is consisting of a positive half cycle and also the negative half cycle. Therefore, with respect to with respect to the positive and also the negative half cycle, here the positive half cycle and negative half cycle, total cycles should be, complete cycle should be a 50 cycles per second. Anna, కలిపి కాసేపు తీసుకున్నాను. And the output frequency is to be 50 cycles per second. Here, one cycle is to be consisting of a positive half cycle and also negative half cycle. Like that, 50 cycles per second, and 50 positive half cycles we are getting. Therefore, if you consider for one half cycle this much voltage, but it should be considering average value, the total average output. Why? Because during the interval of alpha to pi we have been calculated. That's why we output voltage is to be average output voltage is to be okay Vm by 2 pi of 1 plus cos alpha, like that. When like that, average output power is, that is output DC power delivered to the load, that is which is the P is equal to VI. We know that expression. Power is equal to multiplication of voltage parameter and also the current parameter. That is PDC is equal to VDC into IDC, where VDC is equal to average or DC value of the output voltage, and next one is IDC is the average value of DC output current. Next one, we have been calculated that average output voltages, average output current, and also now the average output power also. But we are also getting that calculated or derived the expression for RMS value also. We are also calculated that RMS value of the expression voltage parameter for the voltage, that we are getting the expression is V naught RMS is equal to 1 by root 2 pi of pi minus alpha plus 1 by 2 sin 2 alpha under root. Here, if you observe, we have to calculate the output power with respect to AC power also. Why? Because we are giving AC input power and also for AC input power, we are getting that output is to be DC. Whenever we are giving AC input, the output is to be getting as a DC output value. Therefore, if you observe, P naught AC is equal to product of I naught RMS into V naught RMS. Okay. Therefore, we are getting output DC power at the same time output AC power also. Nothing but we are doing that expression derivation for the value of the output value for the in terms of RMS values also. In terms of RMS value. That's why we are calculated that output AC power also. That's why power output is equal to V naught RMS into I naught RMS. Next one, how can you get the efficiency value? Nothing but how much amount of the power is to be rectified. How much amount of power is rectified? That is efficiency of rectification or rectification ratio. Okay, efficiency is equal to power output by power input. It should be a power input value. Okay, but it should be shown with output of power in terms of AC. It should be our power output by power input. Here, if you observe efficiency value, how much amount of efficiency can be calculated for an rectifier circuit means what amount of DC power output can be getting towards the resistive load across the resistive load and with respect to input value that is nothing but the efficiency. Okay, and the output voltage consisting of two components, that is the DC component of VDC and also the AC component of ripple component of AC value VAC, that is called as the VRMS value. Next one, the total RMS value of an output voltage is given by, we are getting the total output voltage in terms of AC and also the DC. Why? Because the rippled voltage is also getting, that is also calculated here. Therefore, the total RMS value of the output voltage is given by V naught RMS is equals to under root of V naught square plus VRMS square, that is VDC square plus VRMS square. Okay, therefore we have been calculated that RMS from the value. Okay, here if you observe, we have calculating that form factor. What is meant by form factor? The form factor is the measure of the shape of the output voltage. Form factor is nothing but the measure of the shape of the output voltage. Here if you observe, form factor is ratio of V naught RMS by V naught RMS by V naught of DC. That is RMS output voltage by DC output voltage. RMS value output voltage by DC output voltage. That is nothing but the ratio of the voltages which can derive that a form factor. Nothing but if you one example I will explain that we know that why we are having that 11 kV, 66 kV, 60 kV, 66 kV, 33 kV. If anybody having a idea about that means if you observe all the voltage ratings in kV in kilovolts, if you observe not exactly at a zero value, the ending value is not exactly zero, but it should be 11 kV, it should be 11 kV, or it should be 33 kV, or it should be 66 kV, 132 kV, like that. Why the transmission system or the distribution system is to be like that in the voltage ranges? Here normally the voltage value is to be multiplied with the form factor only. Whenever multiplied with the form factor, which is having that 1.11, the value is to be 1.11. That is the form factor, which is equals to, which is called as 11 kV, 33 kV, 66 kV. Like that, whenever we are multiplying with the form factor with the exact zero values of the voltages, we are getting that 11 kV, 33 kV, and also the 132 kV volts. That is RMS value of the voltage. That is. Next one, ripple factor. Here, ripple factor is also the important to understand for a rectifier. Why? Because we are also getting the ripples. Some of the ripples are we are eliminating. We are decreasing by using of a filters, inductor filter or a LC filter, inductor capacitance filter are placed in perpendicular both and which are placed across the circuit, rectifier circuit. Therefore, whenever using this type of filters, the ripple amount, the ripple factor can be reduces. Nothing but the ripples can be reduces and a constant, nearly constant value of the voltage can be delivered towards the across the load. So that is the important factor. Here, the ripple factor with respect to output voltage waveform, if you observe, the ripple factor is also a ratio of RMS value of the voltage to the output voltage. That is, RMS value of the voltage is related towards the AC side. That's why VAC by VDC. VDC. Then how can you determine the ripple factor? The ripple factor is equal to, here VRMS is nothing but V naught square RMS minus VDC square. It is actually derived from the previous one, this one. This is VRMS. This VRMS which is related towards the VAC, here VAC by VDC, then VAC has been substituted with VRMS value from the previous expression of V naught square RMS minus V naught square DC value. Then we are getting that ripple factor, which is square root of form factor minus 1, form factor square minus 1. This is one of the expression for the ripple factor to calculating the ripple factor. Okay, this is one of the expression from the form factor. And next one, this is related towards the voltage. But what about the current ripple factor? How the current ripple factor should be? That current ripple factor is also same as that of the voltage values. Here, I RMS by I naught RMS by I naught DC value. And the same value can be we observed that I naught I RMS is equal to I naught square RMS minus I naught square DC value. Here, if you observe, voltage ripple factor and also the current ripple factor, which are related towards the form factor only. Okay, and PP is which is equals to peak AC ripple output voltage, peak to peak AC ripple output voltage, and which is equals to V naught of max minus V naught of minimum value. This is the expression for the voltages and also the currents with respect to ripple factor. And next one is the transformer utilization factor. Next one is a transformer utilization factor. This transformer utilization factor is here, if you observe that the circuit, rectifier circuit is connected from the secondary voltage towards the load, from the secondary of the transformer. Here the primary is connected to suppose 230 volts of AC supply for suppose. The secondary is to be, yes, it should be a 110 volts. Suppose we call it as a 110 volts, or it should be a step up, means it should be going towards the 400 volts also. Therefore, that it should be depend upon the application of that particular load. Suppose if you observe a transformer, secondary side voltage is to be AC side, AC voltage, which is, suppose we call it as a 110 volts rating. A voltage rating is to be 110 volts, and this 110 volts is to be connected towards the thyristor, and towards from the thyristor towards the load resistor. Okay, load resistor. Here, if you observe the load resistor has been placed at the same time here. At the same time here, if you observe the transformer utilization factor, which derives which tells us what tells us means here what amount of power output voltage what amount of power output voltage has been delivered with respect to transformer output voltage. Where Vs is the RMS supply voltage and Is is the RMS supply current. And this is nothing but the transformer utilization factor, which is the ratio of power output of a DC by Vs into Is. It is nothing but a source secondary side voltages, which is also called as supply voltage. Secondary voltage of the transformer or supply voltage. And next one, if you observe, this is the waveform related towards the supply voltage and also secondary voltage of the transformer and also secondary voltage of the current, or even it should be a supply voltage, and how the current value can be changed. That is, what type of current means whenever harmonics also introduced here. Actually, harmonics also introduced by making a switching operations. So nothing but the diode is to be the thyristor is to be conducting and also bringing towards non-conducting state. It is conducting, again non-conducting. Why? Because with respect to the positive half cycles, the thyristor is conducted, and whenever it should be coming towards the negative half cycle, it should be non-conducting. The thyristor is under non-conducting state. Therefore, again it should be conducting like that. Here, what should be happen means, with respect to these type of switching operations, harmonics are injected into the system. What this tells means here total harmonic distortion should be occur. Here, how it can be means, if you observe, whenever the thyristor is triggered, this is nothing but the pulse. Okay, this is nothing but the switching pulse or firing pulse. This is the firing pulse or switching pulse. Here, if you observe exactly about the 60 degrees, if you observe it is a 60 degrees means it is a 60 degrees or in between the 90 degrees, with respect to using of an alpha, the thyristor is triggered or fired. The thyristor is fired. Here, therefore, up to this is the thyristor conducting state. This is nothing but the thyristor conducting state, and it is called input current. Okay, and it should be at reverse biased condition. And again, same for a positive half cycle, same has been happens. If you consider for a negative side, reverse biased means minus IP. Okay, and here if you observe, where Vs is the supply voltage at the transformer secondary side, Vs secondary side voltage, and also Is is the secondary side current. Okay, and Is is the input supply current or a transformer secondary winding current, Is value, and Is1 is the fundamental component of the input supply current. This is the fundamental component of the supply current. The dotted line is to be a fundamental component of the supply current. Okay, next one, IP is nothing but the peak value of the input supply current, and phi is a phase angle difference between the fundamental components of the input supply current and also the input supply voltage. Phase difference between the sine. Sine wave components. Actually, here not shown here. The fundamental components of input supply current and also input supply voltage, also called as the phase angle or displacement angle. For an RL load, if you consider RL load, okay, RL load, nothing but for R load it should be is equal to 1. Okay, unity value, no problem. Cos phi is equal to 0. Displacement angle is to be 0 for resistive load. That's why we are not shown with the resistive load. For resistive load, phi is equal to 0. Therefore, cos 0 means it should be 1. Therefore, the average output voltage should be maximum. In the previous class, we derived the expression of a maximum power output, average output voltage. That for when it should be possible means at cos 0, phi is equal to 0. Okay, that's why for a resistive load, pi is equal to 0 means cos 0 it should be 1. Therefore, it should be equals to Vm by pi value. But what about the RL load? Whenever if you use any inductance in series with the resistive load, therefore pi is the displacement angle. Here phi is equals to Due to the inductive nature in the load resistance, load value, therefore pi is equal to tan inverse of omega L by R for an RL load. Okay, and the displacement factor can be derived. The displacement factor is equal to cos pi. Okay, and the next one is the harmonic factor. What about the harmonic factor? Here, if you observe that harmonic factor, whenever by using of nothing but more number of times of switching pulses are giving. Therefore, the thyristor is bringing to on and off state, on and off state due to the line commutation and also the natural commutation. Therefore, some harmonic factor is also considered. That how the harmonic factor can be calculated, that is the total harmonic distortion factor, which is equals to is square minus is1 square, is square minus is1 square by is1 square under root. Here is square is nothing but supply voltage of the secondary winding voltage minus is1 square is the fundamental component of voltage. By is1 square. Okay, RMS value of the fundamental component of the input supply current is1. Then how to calculate? This is the way of calculation of the harmonic distortion factor. Next one, about the input power factor. Here we are supplying with the AC, nothing but we are giving that for the transformer as an AC supply, and we are getting that rectifier output is to be a DC output. But from the input side, if you come across the input side, there is a power factor also. The considering of a power factor. Why? Because the load is running. Nothing but if it is an R load, there is no phase angle difference. Why? Because the current is to be moving, starting at the 0 degree line, and also the voltage is also starting at the 0 degree only. There is no problem at all. If you observe the sinusoidal waveforms of the currents and also the voltages parameters, the voltage parameter voltage sinusoidal waveform is to be starting from the 0 to pi and also pi to the 2 pi with respect to negative half cycle and positive half cycle. And also with respect to resistive load, we are discussing about the resistive load. Then the current value is to be, load current is to be starting from the 0th position only. Okay, but therefore what about the input power factor? Power factor is to be unity for a resistive load. There is no problem at all. But in practical, if you go for the practical applications, all the loads are inductive loads. Resistance and also the inductance and also capacitors also placing, that is RLC. Some of the motor loads also there are RLE. E is nothing but the source. Okay, motor EMF, back EMF or counter EMF. Nothing but whenever if you go for a practical applications means there is compulsory inductors are placing. Nothing but inductive nature of the inductance is existed within the motors with respect to the motors. Therefore, if you observe, the power factor can be calculated from for the input side is to be considering the power factor for RL load and also RLC load, RLE loads. Okay, RLE loads also. That's why the power factor is to be calculated. That power factor PF is equals to VSIS1 by VSIS. What is meant by VSIS1? IS1 is the RMS value of the fundamental component of current, input supply current, by Vs and Is. We know that Vs and Is, that is the same supply currents, uh, secondary winding currents of the transformer and also secondary winding voltage of the transformer. Therefore, the power factor can be, how can you calculate it, is Is1 by Is into cos pi value. That is nothing but the input power factor of the for the rectifier circuit from input side. What about the crust factor? Crust factor is nothing but the ratio of it is a peak input supply current by RMS input supply current. It is the ratio of a peak input supply current by RMS input supply current. And for an ideal control rectifier, if you observe, we are observing that the ideal control rectifier, for an ideal current, all the rectifiers are control rectifiers are nothing but a practical. If you observe in any in any domestic purpose we are using inverters. Inverters are consisting that nothing but inverters are making that rectification and also the rectification, I think conversion of AC to DC and also DC to AC. Okay, first time whenever the supply is to be gone off from the mains, therefore the inverter that power circuit, power nothing but power electronic circuit has been behaving as AC to DC converter, and the DC has been stored in the battery, and again it should be converting whenever the power is to be off towards the DC to AC. DC to AC of required voltage is 230 volts, 58 supply. That much amount of voltage is to be generating, giving towards the loads of the domestic purposes, or any, even if you go for any applications. Okay, all these are the applications. But for an ideal control rectifier, how the form factors, crust factors, and also the total utilization, transform utilization factor should be means. If you observe for an ideal control rectifier, form factor is equal to unity and efficiency should be 100%, and VAC is equals to directly VRMS. There is no difference, and which is equals to 0. And what about the transform utilization factor is unity. Nothing but what amount of power has been giving from the input side of the transformer primary, and it is rectified that much amount of voltage, there is no losses. Okay, transformer thyristor forward bias voltage drops also reduces. Okay, reverse currents also reduces like that. And next one, ripple factor is to be 0, harmonic total harmonic factor, distortion is to be 0, factor is to be 0. Okay, and displacement power factor is also 0. 1 unity. Think about it, for an ideal control rectifiers, all the losses or all the drops are neglected and or it should be not considered. Therefore, all these form factors, crust factors, and transform utilization factors are bringing towards the unity position. Okay, that is nothing but the performance parameters of the single phase half wave rectifier with using of a resistive load. Okay. Next we go for that. One of the problem with respect to resistive load. If you know about this problem, a single phase transformer with a secondary voltage of 230 volts 50 H delivers a power to a load R is equal to 10 ohms. A load resistor of R is equal to 10 ohms through a half wave controlled rectifier circuit. Through a half wave controlled rectifier circuit for a firing angle delay of 60 degrees. Here, firing angle delay for the thyristor alpha is to be 60 degrees. The problem is to be determine the rectification efficiency, and B form factor, and C voltage ripple factor, and D nothing but the transformer utilization TUF, and E is the peak inverse voltage of the thyristor. These are the problem from the for the resistive loads of a single phase of half control rectifier. How can you derive this determine the problem here? For first one is the for calculating the rectification efficiency. First we have to know about the rectification efficiency. We observe the rectification efficiency should be, yeah. This is the rectification efficiency. Rectification efficiency is equal to output to DC by output power, DC output power by AC input power. Okay. Okay, this is nothing but the value. Here, if you observe, how can you calculate this one? Therefore, we have to know about the P naught DC. If you observe P naught DC, V naught DC into I naught DC. This is the average output voltage of the resistive load across the resistive load, and average current, average output current. This is I naught value. Here, average output voltage, that is V naught, is equal to, we know that Vm by 2 pi of 1 plus cos alpha. Therefore, we have to substitute V naught is equal to Vm by 2 pi of 1 plus cos alpha. I'm not shown within the slide, but I will explain here. That is V naught is equal to Vm by, I will note here. If you observe, this is the V naught value. V naught value is equal to Vm by 2 pi of 1 plus cos alpha. Okay, this is the average output voltage. While calculating the determining the rectification efficiency, we have to know about the power output value, average power output or load across the power. Okay, that is the DC. You have to calculate the average voltage first. Then how can you? This is nothing but the, if you observe V maximum. This is nothing but the V maximum. Okay, here whenever it is a V maximum means it should be multiplied with. We have the formula about V maximum, that is root 2 VRMS value. This is nothing but the root 2 VRMS value. What is the root 2 RMS value? Here, what is the VRMS value? VRMS is equal to VS, secondary voltage. That is 230 volts divided by 2 pi again, same. Therefore, we have to multiply it here with that is root 2 into 230. Root 2 by 230 into 2 pi. 2 pi into cos alpha. Cos alpha is equal to 60 degrees. Therefore, 1 plus cos 60. Whenever it should be cos 60, therefore, how to multiply? We are getting that this total value is to be 77.64 degrees. This is the 77.64. Okay. In the next class, I will show all these from uh, problem solution. This is nothing but a way of doing the problem. We not have to calculate it. Next one, you have to go for I naught value. I naught is equal to nothing but Vm by R only. Sorry, V naught by R only. I naught is equal to I naught have to calculate. Why? Because P naught is equal to we know that expression is to be V naught into I naught value. I naught value. Therefore, we calculated the V naught value 77.64 volts. But what about this I naught value? You have to calculate the I naught also again. Therefore, I naught is equal to V naught by V naught by R. Okay, R. This R is the resistive load. V naught is equal to R means R is equal to 10 ohms. We know that 230. This is V naught is the 77.64. Okay, 77.64 divided by this 10. We're getting that 7.764. 7.764 7.764 amperes I naught value. Then you have calculated this total. Okay, total output power. You can calculate total output power with respect to DC is 602.8 watts. That P naught is equal to PDC is equal to or P naught of, it should be called as a DC. P naught DC is equal to is equal to 602.8 volts. Right. 602.8 watts. This is 8 actually. Okay. And next one is you have to calculate the PAC. PDC has been calculated. Next one, power PAC, which is related towards the V naught R. V naught R is nothing but RMS value. V naught R into I naught R. Okay, this is the I naught R. Therefore, this is calculated from V naught R. We know that Vm by root 2 root Vm by 2 root pi. Okay, of pi minus alpha plus 1 by 2 sine 2 alpha under square root. Okay, then V naught R we getting. Therefore, total output AC power, output DC power we are getting, and we have to calculate the rectification efficiency. Rectification efficiency is to be this much value 602. Sorry, output DC power by output AC power. Okay, rectification efficiency. Therefore, we getting that 28.33%. Rectification efficiency is calculated as determined as 28.33%. And next one, what about the form factor? What about the form factor? Here, the form factor is having that uh, form factor is equal to V naught R, V naught R divided by V naught, V naught R divided by V naught, which is equals to V naught R is has in value of 145 degrees after calculating V naught R, 145 by 77.6. 77.6. Next one, this is the form factor. Um, and this is nothing but the form factor 1.879. We are getting 1.879. And voltage ripple factor. Voltage ripple factor is equal to square root of form factor square minus 1. Okay. From the parameters only, I am calculating. From the parameters only. Okay. And transformer utilization factor, we are getting that 0.1797. And the peak inverse voltage is to be 325.22 volts. Okay, this is the problem to solve. Okay, for the resistive load of R is equal to 10 ohms of a single phase half wave controlled rectifier circuit. Okay, how to solve this problem, and I will furtherly give some more problems. Some more problems I will give you. And in the next class, we will go to discuss about the RL load and also RLE load. And here now discuss that R resistive load only. In the next class, we go to discuss about the resistance and also resistor and inductor when an inductor has been placed in series with the resistive circuit. Therefore, RL load. Okay, thank you.